You mentioned the city of Gun Barrel there. What are some of the city regulations and ordinances they have on these types of properties?
Well, they require that certain things be done. For example, on a shopping center, they will consider things like, and requirements like you do use the Americans Disabilities Act to do your parking, i.e. have a certain number of parking spaces for handicapped people. They'll consider the height restrictions. Usually on a shopping center, in order to, from a developer standpoint, you consider 10,000 square foot per acre of building, which is maximizing the site. But they also consider minimum and maximum regulations of the amount of square footage and building footprint that you're putting on the land.
Yeah, we know the one of the differences between residential construction and commercial construction is that residential is used for a living space and commercial is usually used for commerce. Could you tell us more about, could a residential space be used for commercial property?
Generally, no. If there's zoning, you cannot use it for residential. I know in the past I've had people call and ask about a commercial building. Could they live in there? While their example would be a retail operation with the living quarters upstairs. Most cities will not allow you to do that.
Okay. Another thing about it, you were talking about some of the conditions you need to get checked out when considering buying a commercial property. Could you explain a little bit about the commercial property condition statement?
Yes. The seller's disclosure property condition, it is required that the seller fill out a seller's disclosure disclosing everything they know about that property, i.e. Things such as, was there any cleaners or any type thing? Was there part of it in a flood zone? Things like that.
So this sounds a little more extensive than your typical residential seller's disclosure statement.
Yes, it's much more extensive. I know that whenever you're apply for a commercial loan, for example, a shopping center, you want to do a feasibility study of some sort. You want to do a marketing study that tells you how many vacancies of strip center space and other type retail ancillary facilities are there, and what the vacancy rate is, what the retail shopping center lease rates current and what's realistic, and then you want to figure as a developer how much pre-leasing that you can do. A good lender is going to require that you have a certain amount of that prospective shopping center pre-leased, either by leases or generally it's by leases before they'll loan you the 70 or 75% of appraised value. Now, it's like the similarity between a residential and a commercial is pretty much in the lending of a lender takes the sales price or the sales price or the appraised value, whichever's less, to make their 70% or 80% loan to value ratio.
Okay, and you're saying, but if I'm not ready to purchase commercial property at this time, I am able to lease commercial property?
Well, yes. And as a landlord or owner of whether it's office or shopping center or whatever, the owner is going to make sure, or should make sure, that you give them a credit report, and in some cases you can get your own credit report on freecreditreport.com. But they want to look at your financial statement. They're going to want to know that you're able to lease that space and stay in the space during the term of the lease. They also are going to consider if they have to give you retrofit money or finish out money, that you're able to stay in that space so that they don't have to turn around and release it and tear out the improvements that they have given you money to retrofit the space and then lease it to someone else.